So I know likely no one is watching this, but I'm putting this out there as a way to kind of make peace with myself of the bet or experiment that I made at the beginning of the year where I aimed to make one video a week and it did not result in me hitting one video a week. Whether I think about it as a failure is entirely up to me internally. Like I can think about it as a failure and think back and maybe convince myself, oh, maybe I'm not built for making content, or maybe I'm not built for this kind of discipline system. But I can also very much internally reframe this as either an experiment or a bet or something else that's more constructive. If I think of it as an experiment, it was an experiment that I set for myself to see, well, I have the goal of I want to educate others, share my ideas, and bring more things into the world. And to do that, my experiment is, hey, if I set one video a week, that could help with achieving this goal. And the experiment resulted in me being unable to keep this because I'm not as disciplined or because my schedule is just very different and it ends up breaking the streak. And that is the result of the experiment. It's nothing as a reflection of a failure on my part, but rather just an experiment that resulted in the data being this is not something that works for me. If I think about it as a bet, it was definitely a worthwhile bet that I made. The bet being, I think that if I set myself this goal of making one video a week as a baseline, then I will eventually learn some kind of system to help me make videos. To go from idea to publication, that is the biggest friction I have. I have a lot of ideas. I like jotting them down, but I don't like going through revising and editing scripts, and I don't like filming, editing videos, and making the polish that I enjoy to then publish. There's too many barriers of friction between idea and publication, and my bet was that if I force myself to have this deadline every week, that it would help me figure out what the better process is for me to go from idea to publication. Maybe it was like there's like an 80% chance that it'll succeed because I believe in myself. I believe I can consistency. I think I can do these kinds of things. But in reality, I'm now realizing that, in this 20% situation where the bet did not go as according to plan, it was maybe it's because of discipline, maybe it's because of my shaky schedule or whatever other reason. There was a ski trip that I went on where I left on the Wednesday, and the Wednesday was the day I was supposed to publish, so I didn't publish because I was on flights the whole day. Maybe that's the reason, But in this case, regardless of the matter, that 20% ended with this bet not making it through. And it's not that I made a bad bet at the beginning of the year, because the bet was just to have some way to have me learn to make content. That was a good bet, and I did learn from it. But the problem was that I did not execute it in a way that was as sustainable. So I couldn't have predicted that, a ski trip or my schedule or anything else would have been bad, because in the end, I still learned a lot. And I think that it was very constructive. So that all being said, I am now in a phase where I am trying to reconfigure how I want to go about this content producing journey. Because if I can figure out a way to make me enjoy it going from idea to publication and share those ideas with the world, then that allows me to reach my ultimate goal. With that all being said, thanks for watching. I will see what I do, and we'll grow together.